Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you entered? Or found yourself reaching for your phone to calculate something you used to do in your head? It's easy to blame age. We're told that forgetfulness, slow thinking, and mental fog are just part of growing older. But what if the real cause lies not in the passage of time, but in the quiet choices we make each day? The human brain is one of the most powerful structures in the known universe. It creates, remembers, adapts, and guides our entire experience of life. But like any powerful machine, it needs to be maintained, challenged, and nourished. This video is not about fear. It's about awareness. Because many people unknowingly sabotage their own mental sharpness, not through trauma or illness, but through simple daily habits that slowly dull the edge of their mind. If you want to keep your brain sharp, alert, and youthful, start by avoiding these 5 silent brain killers. The brain thrives on effort. It grows through challenge, adapts through learning, and strengthens through use. Yet in modern life, we've unknowingly made it too easy to go mentally lazy. We ask voice assistants to spell words. We rely on GPS to navigate streets we've driven for years. We swipe through endless videos that require no attention, no thought, no memory. Over time, this mental autopilot has a cost. Every time we skip a mental challenge, we deny the brain a workout. And like unused muscles, the brain weakens. Not overnight, but gradually. Neural pathways, the connections responsible for problem-solving, reasoning memory, begin to shrink when they're not used. Even creativity, that spark of innovation, dims in the absence of cognitive engagement. In the past, everyday life demanded more thinking. Remembering phone numbers, doing math by hand, reading physical maps, writing letters. Now, convenience has replaced challenge. And while technology is a gift, overdependence on it becomes a silent thief, stealing the very sharpness we wish to preserve. The solution isn't to reject modern life, but to consciously add moments of mental effort. Read a challenging book. Learn a new skill. Solve puzzles. Write. Reflect. Question. Imagine. Because the more we use our mind with intention, the longer it stays powerful. Sleep is often the first thing we sacrifice in our busy lives. We cut it short to meet deadlines, scroll through social media, or binge just one more episode. But behind those late nights and restless mornings lies a hidden cost, the erosion of mental sharpness. During sleep, your brain isn't just resting. It's performing deep maintenance. It consolidates memories, clears out toxins, and reinforces learning from the day. Especially during deep sleep and REM cycles, the brain does its most important cognitive work. When these cycles are disrupted or shortened, the brain simply cannot function at full capacity. Scientific studies have shown that consistent sleep deprivation affects the hippocampus, the region of the brain responsible for memory formation. It reduces attention span, weakens decision-making, and increases emotional reactivity. It's not just about how many hours you sleep, but the quality of those hours. Fragmented sleep, frequent awakenings, and late-night exposure to blue light all contribute to impaired brain function the next day. Over time, the effects accumulate, leading to chronic brain fog, forgetfulness, and even an increased risk of cognitive decline in later years. But there's hope. You can protect your mental sharpness by respecting your sleep like you would your most important appointment. Create a wind-down routine. Limit screens before bed. Sleep in a cool, dark, quiet room. And aim for 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep each night. Because your brain cannot stay sharp if it's not allowed to rest deeply. Sleep is not a luxury. It's the foundation of a clear and focused mind. We often think of food in terms of energy and physical health. Calories, weight, heart disease. But few realize that what we eat shapes the very structure and function of the brain. A diet high in sugar and ultra-processed foods is not just bad for the body, it dulls the mind. Excessive sugar intake floods the brain with glucose, disrupting the delicate balance of neurotransmitters. It causes inflammation, the silent destroyer of neural connections. And over time, it damages the brain's ability to process information efficiently. Studies have linked high sugar diets with decreased brain volume in the hippocampus. the region responsible for memory and learning. Other research shows a correlation between processed food consumption and higher risk of Alzheimer's disease. These foods create instant satisfaction but rob us of long-term clarity. They hijack our brain's reward system, making it crave more. Not nutrients, but stimulation. The result? Mental fatigue, brain fog, poor concentration, mood swings. All signs that the brain is not being nourished, but inflamed. But just as food can harm, it can also heal. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish, flax seeds, and walnuts, support brain cell structure. Leafy greens, berries, and whole grains provide antioxidants that protect against cellular aging. Hydration, too, plays a critical role in cognitive performance. Food is not just fuel, it's information. Every bite is a message to your brain. Thrive or decline. Choose wisely, because your next meal could sharpen your mind, or slowly make it fade. We are wired for connection. From infancy to old age, human beings thrive through interaction, belonging, and emotional bonds. Yet modern life often pulls us apart. We live behind screens. We scroll more than we speak. And in our moments of stress or fatigue, we retreat, telling ourselves we're just tired, when in truth, we are becoming isolated. Isolation doesn't just affect mood, it affects memory, cognition, and mental resilience. In fact, loneliness has been called the new smoking, with studies showing it can be as damaging to health as 15 cigarettes a day. But more than the body, it corrodes the mind. Social interaction challenges our thinking. We interpret facial expressions, respond to unexpected comments, recall shared memories. A rich symphony of mental engagement. Without it, the brain begins to shrink its emotional and cognitive muscle. Elderly individuals who remain socially active have a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline. Even brief, meaningful conversations can improve mental agility. Connection is medicine. Whether through deep friendships, family, community involvement, or even shared hobbies, human interaction keeps the brain alive. Don't wait until the silence becomes the norm. Pick up the phone. Join a group. Share a story. Listen to someone's day. Because the sharpest minds are often the most connected ones. The comfort zone is warm, predictable, safe. It offers routine, familiarity, and the absence of risk. But it also brings something else: mental stagnation. The brain is designed to grow through challenge. When we try something new, whether it's learning a skill, facing uncertainty, or solving a new type of problem, the brain creates new neural pathways. These pathways strengthen with use, increasing flexibility, memory, and creative thinking. But when we live the same day over and over, avoid new experiences, and say no to change, the brain begins to conserve energy, not by sharpening, but by shrinking. Without novelty, the brain becomes less adaptable. Without risk, it loses resilience. And without failure, it forgets how to learn. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, thrives on change, not comfort. Challenge doesn't have to be extreme. You don't need to climb a mountain or start a company. You can stimulate your brain by learning a new language, picking up a musical instrument, taking a different route home, engaging in thoughtful debate, even switching your dominant hand for a task. It's not the size of the challenge that matters. It's the act of engaging with the unfamiliar. Growth is uncomfortable. But so is decline, only quieter. The question is, which discomfort will you choose? Because staying mentally sharp requires movement, not just of the body, but of the boundaries we place around ourselves. Mental sharpness isn't something we're born with and then slowly lose. It's something we cultivate, protect, and build, day by day, decision by decision. You don't need a perfect brain to stay sharp. You need awareness. You need consistency. And most of all, you need to stop doing the things that silently dull your edge. So let's reflect. Have you been drifting through life on mental autopilot? Skipping sleep? Fueling your body with sugar instead of strength? Avoiding challenge? Scrolling through hours of content, but avoiding real connection? Waiting for motivation, while slowly surrendering your sharpest years? The truth is, the brain responds to what you give it. Neglect it, and it will retreat. Nurture it, and it will reward you with clarity, creativity, and resilience that last a lifetime. The 5 silent killers of mental sharpness are not dramatic. They don't shout. They whisper. They slip into your routine unnoticed. But so can the solutions. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to start noticing. Make one small change today. Read something difficult. Call someone you've been meaning to. Turn off your screen an hour earlier. Cook a meal with real ingredients. Say yes to something you've been afraid to try. Because every small action tells your brain, I'm still here. I still care. I still want to grow. You don't have to accept decline as your destiny. Mental sharpness isn't about youth. It's about how you live. Every day, you have the power to either feed your mind or forget it. So ask yourself, what will you choose today?